afternoon, KW community. Thanks for joining us again for one of our live streams. Today we are joined in the kitchen by Vincenzo Velletri, our resident, or not resident, but our very special Italian chef. Today he is going to be making a couple of Italian desserts for you. Hopefully you guys have seen his previous ones. We've done some gnocchi and we've done some pasta. If you haven't seen them yet, you can find them on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and also on Facebook. So for today, for dessert, we've done our pasta. We're now ready for something a bit sweeter. Please feel free to welcome Vincenzo to make us, you can tell us what he's cooking for us today.
Hi Joe, thanks very much guys, and thanks for having me on board. So what we're going to do today, we're going to show how to make some very typical Italian dessert, which is called bigne, or profiteroles in English. And then we're going to do some panna cotta to following up. So for our profiteroles, you should have the recipe available from the kitchen warehouse side. But what you do, you start with, we're doing a very small portions. So we're starting with 250 grams of water and 100 grams of butter. And we're going to let them to melt gentle on the heat. And then what's got the other ingredients, just flour and eggs. So as soon as the butter is melted down and the water is on the boiling way, we're going to pour the flour in there all at once, and then we mix until the mixture comes out of the side of your pot. Then we put in our KitchenAid, and what we're going to do with that, we're going to let them to beat and cool down, and then we start to add our eggs one at a time. Profiteroles, most people believe this is a very complicated recipe, but as a matter of fact, it's a very simple recipe. You just have to follow up the way of making it, and it's a very, very simple, very effective dessert. We're going to fill that one later on with a bit of cream chantilly, and yeah, and then you guys can have a beautiful way of working it. All right, so you can see our water starts to come to the boiling. The butter is nearly melted. Okay, it is important that you get the butter completely melted before you add your flour. So here we go. Got the 200 grams of flour. And you, as I say, you got the recipe there, you can have a look at the recipe anyway. So we mix it up. And what we're doing is actually what we call in the chef jargon a roux. So a mix of butter, water, and flour. So we're cooking the flour, in other words. So the flour what it does is swallow up and gets all the water in it. So you can see now the flour is coming out from the pot. And that is the time to take them away from the stove. So we're going to put in our KitchenAid with a K attachment. And off we go. What we're going to do now, we're going to make sure that they start to cool down, because when you add your eggs, you want the mixture to be quite cool. Otherwise, what happens, the eggs are going to cook. So it is very important to understand when you can put the eggs in there. So it will take probably a couple of minutes until it cools down, so you can feel from the side. And if you guys have any question at any time, please feel free to put on there so I can answer, give you some more idea what is going to happen.
So the KitchenAid, that's cooling the dough down?
Yeah. You can do like that because we are more or less in a hurry, or otherwise you can put on the side, let it cool down gently. And when it's not really completely cool, then you start to add your eggs. Make sure you add the eggs one at a time. So until the first one is being completely incorporated to the mix, then you add the next one up. So you can see before we had the steam coming out from the KitchenAid, probably, I don't know if you can see from there, now it's already coming down to temperature quite a bit. All right. Now it's quite cold, so we're going to start to add our eggs.
So what have you been cooking at home in the last couple of weeks since we saw you?
Sorry?
What have you been making at home in the last few weeks?
Been making a few different things. We've been making some beautiful pasta, some different dessert. I've been doing some, they call is a typical dessert from the Amalfi Coast, which is called torta sorrentina, which is made with chocolate almonds. Yeah, we've been playing around a little bit.
Someone on Facebook is asking whether you can overmix it in the KitchenAid. Does it affect the texture of it?
Is actually you need to mix quite a bit, because that's what happens. It will aerate the actual mixture and make the profiteroles become even better, more fluffy.
And Paul is asking if you can cool it down in the fridge. If you
Probably not. It's better outside, unless you put in the fridge. You keep them out and keep stirring it. You have to. Otherwise, it will cool faster from the outside and not enough from the inside. So on the recipe, we'll tell you to use a certain amount of eggs, but you got to understand that as usual, you got eggs of different size, and so sometimes the amount of eggs that you put, it needs to be a bit more, a bit less, according to how big your eggs are.
So while we're waiting for the eggs to mix, I think they're almost there, are they? Can anyone let us know where they've been in Italy and what foods they love to eat while they're there? Obviously regions and things, we'd love to hear from you. Put them in the comments, and obviously ask questions on either YouTube, if you're on our YouTube live stream, or on Facebook live stream. And if you miss anything, you'll also be able to go back afterwards to the YouTube channel for Kitchen Warehouse.
Okay, just another little mix and we should be there. So just I didn't say before, but you can use for as a flour, you can use just plain flours, or otherwise you can use a 00, either of them. The result will be a little bit different. We've been using here plain flour. With the 00 will come a bit more softer. And the result of the profiterole, the bigne, is also different. So what you do, you check out the consistency of your, can you see inside there?
Yes. I'm going to just show it over here, perhaps, once you're
I'll-
you've finished. We'll show it to this camera.
Yep. Well, we can have a look, because it is important to understand the consistency of your mixture. As I said before, you need to, to adapt the mixer to your. Okay.
So Facebook are asking if you have, if you make cannolis, and is it much of a different kind of mixture? Yeah.
It is completely different. Cannoli is made, it's a dough, a hard dough. This one is a soft dough, which is made again with the.
Can I show this over here?
Yep.
Is that a good spot for it, Teo?
And also, yeah, that's what I want you guys to have a look at, the consistency. See, the thing is that it should go down and still right on top of your mixture.
So we're doing a sweet dessert, Italian desserts day. Someone is asking whether you have any suggestions for savoury filling as well.
Cannoli, the profiteroles, yeah, sure, definitely you can use it as a savory filling. You can have with mushrooms, cream. You can have with prawns, asparagus is a classic one. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do with them, because more or less it's just a container.
Danielle was asking what she would do if it was too runny.
If it's too runny, you are in trouble.
In trouble.
So it's gonna be. That's why I say you add the eggs one at a time, and you check your consistency as you go along, so you don't lose the seeing what's going on in there. You don't want to running, because it still will work unless it's definitely too running. But what is going to happen when it's not going to stand up properly, is going to sort of coming down rather. So I'm going to put this in the piping bag. No, it's okay. We can use the spatula to do that. Okay, so we got our mixture in the piping bag. That's all right. I need actually a spatula, a flat one, if you got a flat one to push them over. Yeah, yeah. So what you do, you use, yeah, and you can use a nice, beautiful spatula that you can grab from here, from the kitchen, or you can use the egg slicer. So you just push all the things forwards. Now, you make sure that you put your oven on before you start this process, as we did, because it is important that when the mixture goes into the oven is at the right temperature, which should be anything from 200 to 220 degrees Celsius. Now, in the piping bag, I got a star hand, or you can use the flat one as well. So you're just popping them at the right bit of distance to each other, because they're going to grow as we're going to go in the oven.
Just roughly how many profiteroles was the recipe that we've put online for?
Well, how much was the one online? I can't remember. How much water was on it? Was for a liter of water, half a liter. So you can do around probably 40 profiteroles with the recipe that I did, which is 250 ml of water, 200 grams of flour, and 100 grams of butter. And then depends how big you make it.
So 250 mils of water, is that what you just said? We just checked the recipe.
Yeah, this is the one that we're doing here today. Okay, we're going this one done. We're going in the oven. For about 15 to 20 minutes. That is also according to the oven in the way that it works. All right. By the time this one is getting done, what we're going to do, we're going to make the panna cotta.
What's your favourite Italian dessert, Vincenzo?
All. It's actually one that I love a lot is what is called delizia al limone. It comes from the Sorrento area. It's just beautiful and lemony, wonderful thing. So, with the panna cotta, again, you have your recipe available from the...
Vincenzo, are you going to need another KitchenAid bowl there?
We will need this one, just the one we're doing the...
So you need another bowl. I'll go get you one from the store.
Yes, please. So, again, with the... What we got here, we got some milk. So we're going to put about 100 ml of milk. Oh, so probably 50 ml of milk. And 200 grams of cream. So for a total of 250 ml, we put on the stove and we put some sugar. Now the perfect quantity you have on the recipe, I'll do a chef way, so high. And we got some vanilla extract. And the next step before we start to getting that to boil is to have our gelatin leaves to put into the water, cold water, so it starts to soften down. Make sure you use a very cold water for doing this job. Otherwise, your gelatin is going to dissolve before you can use it. So our gelatin there is start to soften down, and I'm going to put the stove on a low heat. Now the trick on making a good panna cotta is actually the quantity of gelatin you're using. Most of the time people tend to use too much gelatin, and that will make the panna cotta too firm. It should be, when you put on the plate, should be wobbly, and we will see how this one is going to happen. Also, when you do your mix of cream and milk, you have to make sure that is not too hot, should be just warm. You don't want to come to the boiling point. What happens if you do that? When you put into the glasses or into the mold, will tend to split from each other, and so you will see layers in there.
Are you able to use a powdered
Gelatin? You could, but then you have to have a look at the proportions. It needs a bit more. I think also the gelatin leaves is more accurate, and so you know exactly what's going on there, while the powder one is a bit more a guessing sort of thing.
And someone was wanting to know, with the profiteroles, do you have a gluten-free, can you use a gluten-free flour?
I'm not sure, I haven't done that. I'm not very sure about it. Most probably yes. Actually, I saw a book, an Italian book talking about gluten-free, and they were making some profiteroles with the gluten-free flour. But what sort of flour they used, I'm not 100% sure, so I can't. But definitely you can do some research and have a look.
Maybe Maureen on Facebook can make some for us and let us know. She can fill us in whether it worked.
Well, I can't see why it shouldn't work, but so our sugar is melting down, and the water, the milk is warming up a little bit, and you see our gelatin is nearly nice and soft now. It's nearly ready to go in. Okay, so you can see that some of the steam is coming out from our milk and cream. I think that is quite hot enough. So you get your gelatin, you squeeze all the excess water out, and off you go inside there. You make sure it melts it completely. You can also use a whisk to make sure that is happening, and then you can take it off from the stove. Now the next step in a good word is to let this mixture to cool down in order to, before you put in your dairy mold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put back in the jar, and that should cool down a little bit so we can speed up the process. In the meantime, I'm probably better off to check out my profiteroles if they are going up. Oh, they look magnificent. They came in beautifully. So give it a little bit of more cooling down this one, and then you can put in the mixture in dairy molds that, like this one or similar to this one, that you can buy directly here from Kitchen Warehouse.
We're doing berries with the panna cotta today. What else can you have with it? What would be a traditional Italian kind of anything else that you can recommend?
Nutella. Chocolate sauce, you can use it. You can make a coffee one. You can make, actually I've been experimenting this one in the last few weeks. You can actually make with like a creme caramel. So you can make a caramel on the bottom, made probably with some liqueur or sweet wine, and then you add your panna cotta on the top. So that's how it goes. Here we go, a beautiful portion there.
So you don't need to, the panna cotta molds, you don't need to oil them or do anything? No, they come out?
Absolutely nothing. What happens when it is done, you can either go with a knife around it, or you can put in the hot water for just a few seconds and tip upside down in the plate. Now this one is going to go in the fridge to cool down and to set, and that will take about good 3-4 hours. So what I've done to show you how that's supposed to be, I got my one already pre-made, and so we can start to flatten some of them up. Still checking on my profiteroles.
So who's got some good foodie kind of memories from Italy? I know, I remember, I think my favourite one is sitting in Positano in summer in Italy and having beautiful fresh food and some white sangria with fresh peaches in it. Has anyone else got any good memories from food in Italy? And hopefully we'll be able to get over there again soon to have them.
So after 3 or 4 hours, that's what you get. So it's nice and solid. So sorry.
A big one?
Small or whatever, anything. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Okay, so what with the berry sauce, what I've done it is I got that already pre-made, but what you do, you just get your berry, mixed berry, put in a pot with a little bit of sugar in it, a little bit of orange juice or fresh orange juice and fresh lemon juice, and let to cook a little bit. Then blitz all together and make sure that you run through a sieve so you get all those nasty little seeds away, and cool them down, and you will get what we got today here. So what we can do with this one, we can use a couple of ways of serving it. We can do just like this. And then we can go around with our knife to our panna cotta. And just gentle go on there.
Oh, nice.
So as I said before, this is the consistency you're looking for. So nice and wobbly. And we can garnish that. I got here some beautiful wild mint, which is just in flower at the moment.
Is that from your garden?
Yes, it is. You know that. All right.
What else are you growing in your garden at the moment?
Quite a few things, all herbs. We got some broccoli, some cauliflower, we got some cabbage, wild broccoli. Yeah. So that's your panna cotta ready to go. Now just checking on my profiteroles. Probably not ready. In the meantime, what we can do, we can serve our profiteroles with some chocolate sauce. So we can melt some chocolate. Give me a bowl, a little bowl. So we're going to do that on a bain-marie. So we have the bowl there. And I got some beautiful chocolate here, which is 70%. make sure when you do the chocolate, it's very important to use the bain-marie because it needs to melt gently, especially if it's got high concentration of chocolate. Otherwise, you risk to burn it.
So I just walked past the oven and the profiteroles are smelling amazing and looking so beautiful. I can't wait for you to see them.
In the meantime, we can mix up our cream and making our cream chantilly. So I'm going to put there, say 200 ml of cream, again chef's measurement, a touch of vanilla essence, and we can start to and then I got some icing sugar. Oh, look the panna cotta. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. I know those guys are waiting to try it. Beautiful. Now, with your profiteroles, you can use cream as we're going to today. You can also use your cream pâtissier. You can use a mix of cream and cream pâtissier on the same time. You can use flavored cream pâtissier flavored with hazelnuts or with chocolate. It's up to your, really to your imagination. Okay. So I'd like to say something about when you're having the panna cotta. Should go down a bit. You don't serve any cream next to the panna cotta, all right? Because I had this experience a few weeks back. We served some meal as a takeaway, and we serve with the panna cotta. And one of the ladies come back to me and say, "Oh, I put some cream next to it. It was delicious." No, you don't do that. You're killing the poor panna cotta. So the garnish is going to be very essential when you do this sort of things. You can see how chocolate is melting beautifully there. All right. Okay, our profiteroles are ready.
So Chandrika was asking on Facebook whether you lined the panna cotta molds, which we've already discussed, that they actually come out quite nicely. Vincenzo was saying if you pull the knife around them if you need to, or just give them a slight wobble, they usually come out of the nice loyal mold, so you don't need the cling wrap.
No, you don't. Also, what you can do, if you see that a bit hard to get out, you can immerse in hot water for a few seconds, and that will fix the things up. Now, our profiteroles are done. So the first thing that you need to do is to make a little hole and place on the rack so all the steam will escape.
Would you normally let them cool a little bit before you filled them, or does that?
You do let them cool down, and that's why what I'm doing at the moment. We open them up a little bit, so all the steam from inside will just go away, and they will cool down very quickly. If we don't do that, what the things that will happen is that they tend to become soft rather than stay nice and crunchy.
So someone on YouTube is asking why you don't add cream to the panna cotta. Is it just because it's a very un-Italian thing to do?
Just because it is an Italian thing. Also, does in contrast with the panna cotta, which is already creamy and milky, and that beautiful velvet sort of mouth feeling. So adding cream is something that really doesn't enhance the dessert at all. Need another.
I hope you're making that many for the crew to eat, because we're pretty excited about how good they smell.
Oh, they will have a bit dry.
Apparently there's a few customers who might like one too.
All right. So, need another piping bag. Another piping bag. The small one. Okay, so while our profiteroles are cooling down, we're getting another piping bag to fill up our profiteroles. And you can actually use the piping bag. Another way of doing it is by cutting them in half, like so. And fill them with your cream. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
There we go. So that is the easiest way to do it. If you haven't got a piping bag, just chop them up. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So here we go.
Just the cream with the vanilla, and did it have any sugar or anything? Did you?
Sugar, yeah. So you get your profiteroles, and from the hole that we done before, you just fill them in, gentle. So,
So someone was asking a question before about if you don't have a KitchenAid, they would like one. So whoever their partner is, they're asking for one of those, I think. But they said, can you use a hand mixer as well if you don't have a stand mixer?
You can do, you can do with just a spoon and keep beating until the hand whisk is a bit too tricky, too heavy to use. Or you can use just at the end when the mixer becomes quite soft, but you can do with a spoon and you just mix always on the same side. All right, so if we're going to garnish our profiteroles with our chocolate sauce.
Has anyone got any more questions? Ask away so we can catch Vincenzo before he's finished his demo. So please let us know if there's any more questions and I'll ask at the end.
So this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to immerse your profiteroles in the chocolate and let to cool down, and then you fill it up later on. Okay, now you can finish off like that. You can put either a piece of strawberry in there or our beautiful mint with this beautiful flower there. There you go. Simple, effective, beautiful profiterole. All right.
Fantastic. Don't look amazing. Like, I'm really excited to try them. Who doesn't love chocolate and a panna cotta? If there's any more questions, we'll answer them afterwards. But thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget our stores are open and also online. You can click and collect and also come and see our fantastic staff here. We hope that you join us again soon. Should we do a shout out for your company? Yep.
All right, otherwise you can check on our webpage. My company is called Il Paiolo, and we do catering services. We specialize with wood fire oven. I know still we have only 20 people. It's a bit hard for us to work on that, but let's hope that the things are improving, and we'll be more than happy to serve you. Also, if you like, you can go on our website and have a look. We got some sort of delivery menu as well, and we can help you on that one. So thanks very much for KitchenAid to give us that opportunity. And
thanks to Vincenzo for joining us. Don't forget, you can, if you've missed anything today, please go on the YouTube Kitchen Warehouse YouTube channel, and the whole stream will be there to watch whenever you need to. We're also on Facebook, and we will be on IGTV on Instagram afterwards as well. But hope to catch up with you soon. We're going to be doing some also buco. Let us know what else, any other Italian meals that you'd like to learn how to make. And we look forward to seeing you again really soon. And I've got a profiterole roll to eat now, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.